This episode is brought to you by Mubi, a global streaming service dedicated to elevating great cinema. Starting today, you can catch the streaming premiere of The Substance. Demi Moore delivers a career-best performance as an A-lister past her prime, transformed by a mysterious drug into a gorgeous 20-something played by Margaret Qualley. It's a deliriously entertaining and spine-tingling masterpiece, and you can start streaming The Substance and more for 30 days free at Mubi.com/CityCast. Time is running out to cast your vote in Portland's first ranked choice elections. And no pressure, but this might be one of our most consequential local elections in years, if not decades. So if you need help navigating your ballot or learning more about who's on it, City Club of Portland has you covered. Visit pdxcityclub.org to watch debates on top races like Portland Mayor and Multnomah County Commissioner. You can also read interviews with over 50 candidates for Portland City Council. While you're there, consider supporting a stronger democracy by becoming a City Club member. That's pdxcityclub.org for everything you need to make an informed vote by 8 p.m. on November 5th. Today on CityCast Portland, it's all of our top picks for the month of November in food, entertainment, and everything in between. Joining me on the show are our very own producers, John Atariani and Julia Fiaioni. It's Thursday, October 31st. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Happy November, everyone. Welcome to the show. John, Julia, thank you for joining me.
Claudia, happy November.
Hello. That was so heartfelt. I felt that, John. Thank you. If you're new to the show, our monthly guides are something we started doing here at CityCast Portland to feel a bit more connected to our city because it's so easy to, do the same thing over and over again and forget about all the cool things around you. So hopefully after you listen to today's show, you're going to walk away with some new ideas for how to have the best November possible. All right, well, let's jump into things. Usually we start with a big event recommendation for the month, but we wanted to try something new in the spirit of trying new things. We're going to open it up to also include what we're calling our monthly obsessions. So that could be an event or really anything that we're just really stoked about this month. It opens up our options, and because we're almost hitting a full year of doing these monthly guides, we just wanted to keep things fresh for everyone. So you guys, what's this month's obsession or event you're really excited about?
All right, I'm going to jump in here on this one. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to a show at the Showdown on Southeast Powell on November 6th. And I really emphasize the date because it's the day after the election. So I feel like it's the thing I'm like, I got my sights set on as something to look forward to after that. And the artist I'm going to go see is Paisley Fields, who's a touring queer country artist that splits his time between New York and Nashville. His music is full country, but they have almost musical theater undertones, very sincere writing, which I think is really cool. They grew up in the Midwest, playing piano at a Catholic church as a closeted gay. So they talk a lot about that in their music. I think it'll be a nice place to just kind of ground myself in after all of everything that's going on.
To ground yourself in your gayness?
In my gayness.
Sorry.
So I'm really excited about that. But I have to mention, there's another Portland queer honky-tonk artist that's opening up for Paisley Fields that I've seen a couple dozen times in the past year. Because, showing my cards here, it's my partner's band.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. What's the name of the band?
They're called Lee Walker and the Sleep Talkers, and they're kind of in the same vein as Jenny Don't and the Spurs. If you're familiar, that's another local honky-tonk band who I also really love. But his group has Sturgill Simpson undertones.
Lee Walker and the Sleep Talkers?
Yes, Lee Walker and the Sleep Talkers.
Isn't your partner named Lee?
I don't know. Who said that?
wait, is this Lee's? Is this their band?
Yeah, this is their band.
Wow.
I know. I'm really trying to stop talking about it, but it's okay.
Oh my God.
Super cute.
So I think the whole thing is going to be a blast. I don't know what you guys are planning the day after the election aside from just sleeping, but
I'm going to start a band and open up for Lee's band.
I think you should.
That's what I'm going to do. I have a week? Let's go.
It sounds ambitious, but purposeful.
Claudia's going to be like, sorry, can't do election coverage. Got band practice.
I have band practice.
So anyway, the show starts at 8. Tickets are $15 at the door. And I'll be there. So if you see me, come say hi if you want to say hi.
John, what about you?
My obsession is everyone's obsession, which is the election. But the thing that I'm especially psyched about is this card game that was made by a Portlander. It is like a board game of Portland city government, right? It's called Rose City Hall. And this guy made playing cards with like all of the candidates, and they have like rankings based on what they believe in.
That's wild.
And so like I'm holding one up. This is Tiffany Penson, and she's ranked 3 in Law and Order. And like
What's the scale? Does it go to 5?
it goes to 4. Yeah.
Oh, goes to 4. Oh, gotcha.
It's like an actual board game where like you play with 4 people representing 4 districts and like run Portland city government.
I want to do that. That's really
so
cool.
dorky, John.
It looks so much fun. There's like 68 of the council candidates, 7 of the mayoral candidates. And it's like based on what this guy, Sean Sweat, like believes to be their actual policies as well. And even if you don't want to like sit down and play a board game with your friends, it's actually one of the clearest representations of where people stand in terms of city politics of like anything that I've seen through this election season.
According to Sean, though.
According to Sean, he did do like questionnaires. I don't think he's like making it up whole cloth, but it is sort of one guy's take on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's called Rose City Hall. You can check it out at rosecityhall.com. And you can just like print it out yourself. I actually went to the UPS store and like made cards. So I have like a whole set.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so cute.
So yeah, maybe that's what I'll be doing on November 6th is playing my little City Hall card game, hoping for better things, trying to game out how it's all going to work.
John, I love that like at the end of a grueling election coverage season, you're going to play election.
I'm going to be like, oh, let's do it again. Yeah.
I'm like looking for the totally opposite thing, and John's just like digging in deeper. I love it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Tell us.
So something, by the way, John, thank you. And I love that he literally did print these cards out. Like he was showing them to us. It's very cute.
Shout out to the like 20-something who was working at Kinko's who had to cut every one of these cards for me on like a paper cutter.
All right. Oh my God. Well, something I've discovered this fall was how much I love going to the theater. And now that we're transitioning to more indoor activities, I wanted to remind people about Portland 5. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the Schnitzer, Winningstad, Keller, Newmark, and Brunish. That's our 5 major downtown theater venues. They're constantly hosting and putting on some of the best live shows that I think a lot of us don't even register are happening. Because if you didn't grow up going to shows, like I did not, you know, or if in your 20s you were broke like me, it's just like something that's not in your like cultural wheelhouse. I don't know. It's not something when I'm like, what am I going to do this Friday? Let's look at the theater,
Yeah.
So collectively, Portland 5 is the 5th largest performing arts center in the U.S., which is crazy when you think about our city's relative size.
Yeah.
So last month, I went to see comedian Laura Ramoso at the Winningstad, she's well known for her TikTok impressions of her German mother. And it sounds silly, but it made me kind of fall in love with going downtown to seeing shows. Like we tried a new restaurant beforehand. We had drinks at Abigail Hall, which I'd been meaning to check out. We saw a hilarious performance. We walked around and then the lights were on and felt totally safe. And this month I have 2 more performances I'm checking out, which are super dorky. So please don't make fun of me. Tomorrow, I'm going to check out the National Folk Orchestra of Mexico performing Coco live to film at the Schnitzer.
That sounds amazing.
For Dia de los Muertos. Did you guys ever see that movie?
Coco, yeah. I loved Coco.
I'm going to be like, please don't make fun of me. I'm going to be crying. It's one of those movies when I looked around and like every person was crying. And mariachi always makes me cry. And then the following Friday, I'm going to see Avatar: The Last Airbender in concert. Which honestly will probably also have me bawling. It's a Nickelodeon kid show. This is what I mean when I say I'm going to the theater.
Those both sound fucking awesome. I don't know
so
how they're going to do
excited.
Avatar live, though. Do you know how they're going to?
Yeah, all the books with music. I know,
Wow.
John, you're like, I don't know what these children are talking about.
Sorry, John.
I'm like, oh, Tchaikovsky. Oh, like.
I know, you're looking at the act, you're like, oh, Wicked is coming around. And I'm like,
Oh, the Philip
No.
Glass Ensemble.
Read between the lines,
Yeah.
John.
wait, is Philip Glass Ensemble actually playing?
Yeah, they're doing the score to Koyaanisqatsi. Did you ever see that?
So much better. But guess what? I'm still gonna watch the crap out of Coco live to film.
Claudia, you are the most sophisticated among us.
Thank you.
Pinky's up.
Pinky's up. I'm like, are the Simpsons on ice coming? Because I'm there, girl.
Oh my God.
Anyhow, that's my big ups for November. Please check out. Actually, the Philip Glass Ensemble. That sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna go check that out.
I love that band.
I love that band. All right. Well, you guys, let's take a quick break here. When we get back, more of our top picks for the month of November. Hey, Portland, do you know who you're voting for? If you're still researching your options, the League of Women Voters has a ton of resources to make voting easier for you. You can find reliable, nonpartisan, free information at lwvpdx.org, like videos and podcasts of candidate interviews. There's also balanced explanations of ballot measures. And this week, the League is also sponsoring a walk-in voter information table at the Community for Positive Aging at 1820 Northeast 40th Avenue. Volunteers will be there on Tuesday, October 29th and Thursday, October 31st from noon to 3 p.m. And also on Tuesday, November 4th from 1 to 3 p.m. Stop by to get help with using a ranked choice ballot or go to lwvpdx.org or vote411.org to learn more about the candidates and measures.
Why is Laura Stribe running for Portland City Council in District 2? Because Laura believes Portland is about community. She's lived in St. John's for over 20 years. It's about connection. Laura has been committed to advancing the arts, education, and listening to community. And it's about collaboration. Laura will work with folks to get things done. Laura is hopeful with the new charter reform and ranked choice voting that Portland can enter a new era of representation, investment in community, and fiscal responsibility. Arts and culture is what keeps our economy going and our city vibrant. Safety and affordability is what we demand for all Portlanders to ensure our neighbors can thrive and live with dignity. Our planet needs a green lens going forward as we upgrade our infrastructure and prepare for forthcoming natural disasters. Together, we can create a Portland to be proud of. Vote this November and rank Laura Stribe #1 for Portland City Council in District 2. Paid for by Friends of Run Laura Run.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's early November, a month that's traditionally all about gratitude. So I wanted to take a moment to, thank ourselves, not only for making it through another year, but for trying our best in a crazy, crazy world. And we all know it isn't easy. Plus, with the incoming holiday season, it's just gonna get harder. But one of the ways people are finding relief is through talk therapy. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and empowering you to be the best version of yourself, not only for others like coworkers, friends, and family, but for yourself. Think of it as a great way to say thank you to yourself. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/citycast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/citycast. Okay, so what is everyone most looking forward to eating or drinking this month?
Okay, so I am checking out Parallel PDX, which is a wine bar on Northeast Sandy Boulevard that just opened up a few months ago. It's in my neighborhood, so it caught my eye that way, but it was for sure a combination of our Hey Portland newsletter writer Rachel Monahan's reporting on the spot, because she already went and checked it out, and Portland Monthly's Brooke Jackson Glidden's review has me determined to try it this month. It's run by former Momofuku sommelier Stacey Gibson and her husband, Olympia Provisions alum chef Joey Gibson. And what's really cool about it is their approach. What they did is she picked the wines first, and then they curated the food around the wines, which maybe I'm just naive, but I always thought that it was the other way around, where you have the food menu and then you find the perfect wine for it. But it really is like a wine-forward place. Brooke talked about how the wines are also really approachable, which is a cool thing. The environment even seems pretty casual, which I think is sweet. But the food menu is pretty simple, pretty limited, but there are some things on the menu that I'm super excited to try. They have a dirty rice arancini and a seafood cannelloni. I don't know. Have either of you heard of this spot?
I have not, but I'm flipping through the website and it looks delightful.
It really does. And what's sweet about the location is that the whole front side of the place is just like ceiling to floor windows. So if you go on an afternoon, the sun's kind of peeking through, I feel like you can get your like own little taste of luxury just like sitting and sipping. I haven't made the time for it yet, but I am really excited to try.
That sounds nice. Wait, where in town is it?
It's right in the central east side.
It's on Sandy.
Yeah.
And second shout out for Rachel Monahan in Hey Portland. She's been doing this monthly list of like the best restaurant openings in the newsletter. She just put one out earlier this week. So if you are not a subscriber to Hey Portland, get on it. There's like a bunch of like really great new ideas in there.
It's free.
And it's free.
Cool. Thanks, Julia. What about you, John?
I am super psyched about Masala Lab. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
So it's been around for a couple years. It is a restaurant by the same guy who does the Desi PDX food cart at the Prost Marketplace pod on Mississippi.
Ooh.
You know, so like really great, interesting Indian food cart. Well, a couple years ago, he started Masala Lab. It's on Northeast MLK. Really like thoughtful, creative Indian dishes. But it's all brunch.
What?
It's all Indian brunch. Yeah. So they take like classic Indian dishes and like mix them up in like brunch style. So like, you know, like pakora, it's like the Indian fried vegetables. They do like a pakora waffle with like dal and chutney and spiced yogurt. And then they do a saag shuka, you know, like saag, the sort of like Indian braised spinach and cheese, but they do it as like a shakshuka with eggs in it. I stumbled in here a couple weeks ago with some friends when like the place that we were going to go to brunch was like backed up for an hour.
What was it? I want to know.
It was Cafe Ali.
Okay.
So we're like, well, like let's go check out Masala Lab. So good. They do these bacon lardons that are like, you know, I got a side of them of being like, a side of bacon, you know. It was like the biggest bowl of like delicious pork belly that I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, they're open Friday through Sunday, 9 to 2. Especially as it like starts to get a little bit colder. I feel like it's sort of like cozy, like wintry brunch food. Super good.
Gosh, that sounds lovely.
Well, to jump off the coziness, John, I started a new tradition last year that the day before Thanksgiving, my partner and I go to Huber's for Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh,
that way,
so
on
cute.
actual
So cute.
Thanksgiving, all the pressure's off and we can do whatever we want or hang out with whomever, not being like, we need turkey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, we just get this brief moment of us two hanging out before the explosion of the holidays. And it's just so much fun because everyone's in the spirit. You know, you go to Huber's, it's backed up. People, these reservations are like, you know, so like if you want to get on this, like get on it. Because people actually go for Thanksgiving, which is so smart.
Yeah.
You and your family go. It's the best turkey in town, let's be honest. You know, so it's just, it's perfect. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to in November. And honestly, now every year I would be looking forward to.
Claudia, can I tell you something shameful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to Huber's.
What? John, what the?
After all this time we've talked about it, even
I'm
gone,
actually
John.
mad. I'm mad.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure I
upset.
have like talked about Huber's on the show before. But
What's
Oh my
wrong
God.
with
How
you?
dare you? This
John,
is all a lie.
No.
I'm sorry.
You know what?
I'm
End of podcast.
Claudia, I'm sorry.
John, Julia and I have gone together. You could have joined
That was
us.
the first and only time I've been. And I will say I anticipated it being a little overhyped, but it's perfectly hyped.
Did you hear that,
You gotta
John?
get the Irish coffee. The environment's like old time classy. You can like even dress up if you want.
oldest restaurant in Portland.
I know all the superlatives, just never made it. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, get on it.
This is your opportunity. It's the perfect month to eat turkey.
'Tis the season. Yeah.
And again, if you go, take your partner, go get some turkey, bring cash to tip the Spanish coffee maker. They put on a show. It's a big deal. And like, you're going to feel like an asshole when they walk away and you're like, ooh, you know, oh, sorry, I didn't think about this. So bring cash to tip.
Don't be that guy.
Well, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the entire guide, which is the hack of the month. This is when we try to be super helpful and explain what needs to happen this month. And if you don't do it, bad things are going to happen. Not really, but you know, John, you're our reigning champ. Please go first.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
So, November. Often the start of ski season in Portland, right?
Right.
Like, you know, there's already a little bit of snow up on Mount Hood, not enough for like actual skiing, but more often than not, the mountains actually open before the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
Trouble is, though, it's freaking expensive, all right? Like, if you want to go to Timberline on a weekend, it's $149 for a lift ticket. A weekday, it's $117 for a lift ticket for like one day.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of money. But the best hack is between Thanksgiving and the Monday after, Timberline does this Cyber Monday sale where last year you could get 3 weekday tickets for $145.
Whoa.
So it's like a 3-for-1 sale. They don't advertise it a ton, and like they don't even say that it's going to be coming until it just like appears, but they have done it pretty consistently over the years. So like
any 3 days?
They have to be weekdays.
Any weekday that you can go
Any
in?
weekdays. Yeah, you just get like 3 passes. So you can just use them whenever over the course of the season, as long as it's on a weekday. Back when I was like working weekends, that was like my go-to. I'd like buy that deal like 2 or 3 times in a row, and that would just be my passes for the season. And it's also great because like the thing about skiing or snowboarding, especially at somewhere like Timberline, like you kind of never know what the conditions are going to be. So sometimes you get up there and it just sucks. It's like raining and you're miserable. But if you spend $150 on a ticket, you feel like you got to stick it out. When you get the 3-for-1 passes, it's a lot easier to be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go get a drink in the lodge and I'm just going to go home. And you don't feel like you wasted a ton of money. But like definitely mark your calendars. Keep your eye out for that deal.
Wow, John.
Once again, John.
Unbelievable.
It's a good one.
This one's like a secret tip, too.
Jeez Louise, like you dug deep.
I love how you're like, they don't advertise it, but I am.
But I am, yeah. And of course, this is going to be the year where they're like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Oh my God, just like the Swifts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when you chased every single Swift out of the Chapman chimney. I remember that.
It's true.
Julia, what's your hack of the month?
Okay, so just this past week when it was just, you know, the rain setting in, I had realized that my seasonal depression is creeping around the corner. And I know just for myself, I have to start building habits to get myself out of my house now so that when it gets really bad in February, I'm already doing the thing to keep myself healthy, to keep my mental health well. And this year I've been trying something new. What's funny is that this is something that I used to hate. Karaoke. I would avoid karaoke like the plague. But for the past 2 weeks, I've gone to Chopsticks, which is in my neighborhood, to just sing a couple songs and go home like totally sober. It's not like a whole night out or anything. Just walk in, tip your KJ, let it all out and go home. And it's honestly, it's so refreshing. And it feels like kind of like when you go for a run. So that's my thing.
It's so funny because mine is of a similar vein, but mine is actually like actually doing a physical activity. I love that yours is like, you know what? Why go for a run when you can karaoke Eminem?
Just get out of the house. Don't talk about Eminem.
Now I really want to see this deeply athletic karaoke performance from Julia. Are you like doing backflips?
You know what it is? Okay, I'll give you some insight. Last time I went, I did a Rage Against the Machine song.
Ooh,
and you got to keep in mind, it's like a Tuesday at like 9 p.m. And there's like 3 people in this karaoke joint. Last time I was there was a couple sitting on the bench like 10 feet in front of me, and I'm screaming at them.
You're like,
everybody loved it.
Do what they told you.
That was literally the song that I sang, which is so funny. But anyway, So whatever it is that gets you out of the house, even if it's just for an hour, just to blow off some steam. Recently, I was at Dear Sandy getting some work done, and I was sitting at the table that at the time that I was packing up turned into the writers meetup spot at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. And I thought that's also a great idea, just to go somewhere and do something that you were going to do at home anyway, just to talk to people. It was kind of funny because they kept walking up and being like, hey, are you here for the writers meetup? I'm like, no, not really, but this sounds nice. So just things like that, like anything to get you moving and socializing.
Get you out of the house.
Helpful, yeah. But I want to hear your tip, Claudia. What's going on in your world?
Well, very much on the same vein, Julia. I think that people should go sign up for an indoor activity or sport, because just like you, I also get a little sad when I don't see the sun for months and months. John, I know that the way you combat it is that you're a snow guy. Like you're constantly moving. And I feel like that is something that most of us don't consider ourselves. But like, if you ever wanted to try out futsal, pickleball, boxing, heck, taekwondo, like now is the time. In my area, there's a Portland Tennis and Education Center, which is like run by Portland Parks. And I'm going to take some classes. I'm going to learn how to play tennis and possibly pickleball, because I do not want to be depressed this winter, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much indoor stuff. Like there's indoor skateboarding. Like, guys, come on, you know, get out. We don't always have to go to the bar. Karaoke sounds great, but if you have anxiety like me about singing in front of people, like, yelling, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me in front of two people trying to eat nachos, you can also just...
That's not your thing.
You can also just go learn how to play futsal. It's super fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Are you going to become like one of those pickleball people, though? Is this going to be like the descent of Claudia into like pickleball influencer and podcast host Claudia Meza?
It would break open our podcast. People would listen.
Finally.
Just to hear like me talk about pickleball. Just maybe we'll have the really beautiful noises in the background. Just like pew, pew, pew.
Everything was great on CityCast Portland until they instituted the Week in Pickleball segment.
No.
Every Friday roundup, Claudia's just talking about pickleball. No, I don't know. Who knows? I've never played it, you know, so I don't know.
Don't knock it until you tried it. I'll take that advice too.
Yeah.
And once you get your pickleball wings, Claudia, invite me along and I'll come play some pickleball with you.
Yeah.
I just feel like you've been talking a lot about pickleball, John. Like I basically mentioned that I was going to go learn how to play tennis. And you're just like, wouldn't it be cool if you learn how to play pickleball and invited me, Claudia? And I'm like, okay, I will. Like if you want to come play pickleball with me, cool.
You got me. Be like, oh, what do you know? I have my own paddle. What are the chances?
He's like a secret pickleball recruiter.
John has his own paddles and cute little pickleball shorts.
Wow, I'm so good at this. Who knew?
Oh, man. Well, you guys, this is now where we're going to pick our favorite. This is the thing we're going to do together this November.
Man.
I don't think I have a choice, do I?
You have to come to Hubers.
I think it's Hubers or bust for me.
No, seriously, you guys, let's do this.
That sounds really nice, actually.
How about we celebrate the end of the election season with a nice, strong Spanish coffee.
With the flaming coffee, yeah.
At Hubers.
Duh.
What, were we doing this?
I'm into it.
Nice.
I'm into it.
We'll go over and maybe watch some Disney on Ice. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're in the right part of town.
Love it.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope that everyone has an awesome November. Obviously, this isn't the end all be all. Love to hear what you're doing this November. And if you do any of the things that we suggested, we'd love to hear about it. We'd love to hear how it went. Tag us at CityCastPDX. That's our handle on Twitter or X, whatever, and Instagram. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Claudia.
Well, that's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.